This is the 2021 Mustang Mach-E First Edition in Rapid Red Metallic. The EPA estimated range on the Mustang Mach-E is about 270 miles, and when I picked up the car it was actually showing 313 miles of range, but we all know with EVs it varies based on how you drive them. 0 to 60 comes in 5.5 seconds, and that is stopped by the red 4-piston brake calipers up front and single piston calipers in the rear, sitting behind the 19-inch machine face finished aluminum wheels with high gloss black painted pockets. The Mustang Mach-E has 332 horsepower and 417 pound-feet of torque. It's all-wheel drive and only has seating for 5 and a full panoramic fixed glass roof. It also has a foot-activated power liftgate. This is the second video in a series of 4 that I will be doing for the Mustang Mach-E. Now today, I am doing a full comparison of my 2020 Model Y long range that you're seeing in this footage. I will be comparing these two in this video head to head and covering absolutely everything you'd want to know about these models since they are so similar in every way imaginable. Right off the bat, I do want to say that Ford has done an amazing job with this car as a first real attempt in creating an electric vehicle that you can daily drive. I am excited to show you the nuances between each vehicle, and I hope you enjoy the content in 4K.
Thank you for tuning into this video today. I'm extremely excited to be able to do a review of the brand new Edition 1 Mustang Mach-E and then also my 2020 Model Y. This is a long-range Model Y. Some people get confused because they think those are the performance wheels. Those are the 20-inch induction wheels. So 20-inch wheels versus 19-inch wheels. We're going to start with the exteriors of the car, starting with the frunk, the most important part of the car that you'll never end up using. So let's start on the Mustang. One of the things that Ford was advertising when they first started showing the Mustang Mach-E was they showed people at a tailgate with ice and beer and like chicken wings and all kinds of stuff in the front of here. Now, I rented this car, so I'm not going to be putting chicken wings in the front of the car. If it was mine, I have all kinds of things up here. But there is a little drain plug here, so if you were to put ice and beer and whatever in your car and you're going to a football game, there's a drain plug right back here that actually will let the water run out of the car, and then once you're done you can, I don't know if this tub comes out or not, but you're able to store things in here, and I think that was a smart thing Ford did to make it something functional, give you like a good reason to want to use the frunk of your car. Now, if you look in here, there's this plastic structure sitting in here. There are these little push pins. These fairly easily come out, and you can take this structure, pull it out, and then have all of that room to store things in the frunk. I think that these are just cup holders. I'm pretty sure that's what those are for, or for beer or whatever you drink. Now if we move over to the Model Y in the front, you can see a much simpler area. There's no functionality in terms of being able to store stuff up here. I'm sure if you wanted, there's a look at the very bottom, but you can see there's no drain plug or anything, so you shouldn't be storing like ice up here or anything. It's really if you're going shopping or whatever, if you want to store. I always have my charger just in the front of the car. That's what I use it for, and keep it stored up there. The Tesla does have more room up here, but again, this is something that it's cool to say I have a frunk, and you never end up actually using it. So not a huge deal up here. Now more on the exterior of the car. When you look at both cars, now looks are always subjective, but Ford has done an amazing job designing this car. It looks like a car I would want to own. The front end is nice and sporty looking. The headlights have a really cool design that we will show you later in the video, but it's not like the Volkswagen ID4. I mean, it's just not, it's a boring car and it's very expensive. And if I'm going to be spending this type of money, The Teslas are beautiful. Some people think they look like eggs. That's a fair assessment. But the Mustang looks great. It has a low roof line. It's got nice contrast on the top of it. Now, shutting this hood is kind of hard. The owner was showing me a trick. You kind of have to start it from about right here. And that didn't work. Let's see if we can get it. And give it a nice thud. You feel like you're gonna break it, but really it just takes like a solid thud and it'll close up. The contrast of the car comes with the black trim here around the outside and then continues on to the fully panoramic roof. And with this red is a beautiful color. Now, when I was driving the car, one thing I noticed is the regen braking is not nearly as aggressive as Tesla's. So that was just something I noticed right away. The other thing you'll notice is this little area right here. So this is the door handle. I'm not exactly sure why they put this little aerodynamic looking thing on here. I guess to give you a little more tug. To open it up, the best way I found is if you take your right hand, put your thumb here, and then you're able to pull it back just like that. So it's fairly easy once you get used to it, just very different compared to the Model Y. If you're not familiar with how to open a Tesla door, or at least the Model 3 or Model Y, this is how it goes. Just like that. So I always find it best to just press your thumb in there to open it up. I see a lot of people like press here and then grab here and all kinds of things, but just take your thumb, press it in, grab, and pull. Now on to the rear of the car. Both of these cars are essentially hatchbacks in a way, to where how this opens up and you can fold the seats down and have all of that room. And I was able to put golf clubs in this car. So I was able to put golf clubs in here. They fit sideways. I didn't have to take drivers and 3 woods out. It does fit. The trunk is decently smaller than the Model Y, and there's also a lower roof line. You also know in the Model Y, now this is one storage area that's very useful, is when you lift this up in the Model Y, you have all this area. In the Ford, there's really no storage down here. You have this tub, which can lift out, and there's a little bit of room down there, but again, that's not like a finished area where you're gonna wanna store something. That's truly just for this styrofoam fitting piece to be sitting in. Now you also notice that the charger sits here, and there's a nice flat tire kit. It'd be nice if the Tesla came with this, because Teslas like to blow tires. But there's no storage back here underneath, which is a very cool feature that the Tesla has that I use very often. So let's take a look at that. So you're able to see I have some camera equipment here. There's just a lot more depth, and there's a little more height on the Model Y compared to the Mach-E. You also have 2 huge storage areas down here on either side, and you have this massive area down here. You can see I have a tripod, I have a drone, I have Kleenexes, I've got a dog net thing to protect the back seats for when my dog's in the car. So it's a very useful area. It's also a security thing, just like having privacy. If you're going shopping and you don't want to have things exposed in your car, it can be hidden under here. Just another nice feature that the Tesla has. So as far as functional storage in the car, the Tesla wins for sure. Once we get into the interior, you'll see that they are very comparable as far as seating volume and room in the car. Andrew's 6'3", I'm 6 foot, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when we are both sitting in the driver's seat, passenger seat behind one another. All right, so Andrew is comfortably sitting in the front of the car. He's 6'3". He's good to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and get in the back. So sitting in the back of the car, you can see that I actually can sit my legs comfortably under his seat. I have about 2 inches in front of my kneecaps here and can comfortably sit behind someone that's 6'3". So now let's do the same test in the Mach-E. Comfortable there? Okay. All right, time for me to hop in the back. Now, one thing you'll notice about the rear of the car is there's only this button. On the front of the car, you have this little thing that we showed earlier you can kind of pull on. So on the rear of the car, you press this, the door props itself open. Now this might look like a safety hazard because you can imagine pressing your fingers in there and grabbing your fingers in to open the door. You could jam it. However, there is a safety feature. There's a little kickstand that ejects, and you can't actually close this right now. So it is pretty safe, and then you just pull and the door is opened up. So just wanted to point that out in case you were worried about it. So now into the Mach-E, slightly less room where your feet are at. Now the Model Y, the seats sit up on these like 6-inch blocks almost. So there's a lot, you could fit like a shoebox under the Model Y seats. There's not as much room down there. The knee room up here is actually slightly better though because of how the back of the seat is cut out. So that does look a little bit better, but the back does not quite have as much space as the Model Y, especially in the center part of the seat. Now, one thing I will say is I feel like the seats, the rear seats in the Mustang Mach-E feel slightly softer and more comfortable than the rear seats of the Model Y. Whereas the front seats in the Mach-E feel more firm than the softer seats that the Model Y has. So it's kind of interesting that they flip-flop in that sense. Now, the material of the Mustang Mach-E is standard Ford. It's an okay quality leather. I don't know that I necessarily want to get in and feel some of the cheaper Ford materials in a car that's priced like a Mercedes. So that's just something to think about when you're going to buy an electric car. And you know, there's lots of things to think about, but a lot of what Ford did to the Mustang is I think they tried to keep it comfortable. And what I mean by that is when you get in, you still have to start the car. That's one thing that a lot of people don't know is when you get in the Mustang Mach-E, there's a couple of things that are familiar, and I think what Ford was trying to do is not make it such a stark contrast between owning an EV and owning a gas-powered car. For example, there is this screen right here. It's not a heads-up display, it's a digital LCD screen. And when you get in the car, you also have to start the car. There's actually a start-stop button, so there it's on, and you can see that now it says 0 miles per hour, vehicle is on, shows my range, shows that I'm in park, and then you have this big vertical screen here. The vertical screen is okay, doesn't work quite as well as the Tesla, but I will say a lot of people want in Tesla, they want to have the Apple CarPlay. So you can have that in the Ford, which is very cool. It would be nice to have Apple CarPlay, but again, the Tesla infotainment system, I think, works extremely well. There are some clunky parts. This has some clunky parts. It just truly depends on what you're going after. The steering wheel has a nice build to it, not quite as thick as the Teslas, but again, that's not something that most people are going to care about. Then it also has go through the buttons here real quick. So this is to activate cruise control. This is to activate lane keep assist. And then this determines the distance, the follow distance between the car in front of you. But it is very interesting that you have to actually hit start. I don't know why that's necessary. I have grown to love just getting in my car and it's on, but it is something you will get used to. A lot of these things may be intimidating initially when you go to the car and you're like, oh, what's this? Where's the key? Why don't I have a key? Why is my key a credit card? So all those things can be very confusing at first, but you get used to it within days. And then once you're driving the car and the experience of it overcomes all these different nuances of the car. Some things I really like about the Mustang's front end here, that this is like a leather upholstery along here with red stitching. And then there's also this like mesh speaker box that runs the entire length of the front of the car. So that's nice. It's a nice place to be. The other thing you'll notice here is there's actually a drive selector like you'd see in any other Ford. This circular drive selector, so if I put my foot on the brake and I want to go into the different drive modes, that's how you do it. And again, that is Ford, I think, trying to be familiar. They want you to get in this car and go, oh, okay, this is like other Fords that I've owned, but it's an electric vehicle, so I get the tax credit. I get to maybe go in the HOV lane. There's a lot of benefits to having, or maybe I don't want to pollute anymore. I want to have this car. And also, guys, I get it. You charge the cars use coal, but these EVs burn energy so much more efficiently than gas-powered cars. That's what I mean by saying, like, the car itself is not polluting. On the back end, it does. Yes, at the coal plants, I get it, but the energy that they use is used much more efficiently than a car with gas. That's all I mean by that. Relax. I guess the point that I always come back to is some of these car companies, I think, like Ford, are slightly too calculated in how they are making their cars. Okay, so what do you think they would like to have here? And they have the knob, and they try to make it like the other cars, but it doesn't have to be like that way because it's a totally new driving experience. So that's a look at the interior of the Mach-E. That's covered the exterior. So now let's go take it for a drive and see what it's like to drive. So here's something very interesting about the Mustang Mach-E, and it's the drive modes. So there's engage, there's whisper, and there's unbridled or unbridled. We're not sure what it is. I'm sure I'll get corrected in the comments by you guys. You're all PhDs. It's amazing. So yeah, if you go here, so this doesn't really give me, all I can think is comfort, normal, sport, like any other car would have. But then if you go to here, it says balanced drive, fun and engaging. Okay. And then it's seamless drive, calm and quiet. I'm not sure how that differs, but okay. And then this one, exhilarating drive, machine and road align as one. So I don't know why you can't just write normal or comfort, normal, sport. But again, I get it. They're trying to do something different. I feel like they tried a little too hard there, and no one really cares that these words are different. Just make it comfort, normal, sport. I switched it to the unbridled mode. I really hate that, I don't know which one is right there. So looking forward to the comments on that. Anyways, it is quick. It is definitely quick when you put it in its most aggressive throttle response mode. Not quite the precision that the Tesla has, but it is down on power, a substantial amount of power. So, you know, you can't expect it to be the same, but it is quick. I mean, it's quicker than, you know, a gas-powered car can react just with the immediate torque. Is it as fast as the Tesla? No, but this also isn't the fastest one they produce. They're coming out with the Mach-E GT version. That version is going to do 3.5 seconds to 60, which is the same as the Model Y performance. So that will be very interesting to see. Not quite as sharp again as the Model Y, but again, that's just because of the power. But it's not going to be, I don't think, a letdown. The ride quality of the car, let's talk about that, because everyone talks about the ride quality of the Model Y being a little too harsh. That's personal opinion. It's going to depend on what car you came from, what cars you normally drive, all that type of stuff, what wheels you have. This has 19-inch wheels, and the sidewall on the tire is also, it's pretty beefy, so there's a lot there to absorb some of the impact from small bumps on the road. This specific car with the 19-inch wheels does seem to ride a little smoother than my Model Y. The other thing is there's still a lot of road noise in this thing. Everyone complains that the Tesla has too much road noise. This has just as much on the road that I'm on. It's not the most smooth road, so you are going to get some noise no matter what car you're in. But this isn't as good as like a Mercedes GLC, Audi Q5, or BMW X3. Those cars are obviously engineered better than anything. Those still have the upper hand while being priced slightly better than this. The other thing you'll want to know about is the cruise control with the lane keep assist. So I'm going to go ahead and engage cruise control, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit set. And now we're set going at 68. We'll take it up to 70. And you'll see it'll keep me, oh, I got to put on lane keep assist. So there we go. Lane keep assist is now on. And it will keep me within the boundaries here. So you'll see again, does it work quite as well as Tesla? No, but the one thing to remember is this is Ford's first try at it. So I think it's definitely a valiant effort. It's a nice car. To me though, like as I'm sitting here right now and midway through this review, to me, I don't see how you could consciously spend your own money on a Mustang Mach-E over the Tesla Model Y, and the simple reason for that is because of the charging network. Just like gas stations with a gas-powered car, you're able to confidently drive anywhere in the United States or truly anywhere in the world and know that there's going to be a gas station so you can fill your car up. Unless you're in the southern part of the United States right now, people have put gas in trash bags and took them home. I don't know. I don't know what happened to those people. The charging network of Tesla is so intuitive, just built into the car's software. If you're going on a road trip, it plans out all the superchargers you need to hit to comfortably get to your destination. This does not have that. Sometimes you'll go on here, you'll put in a location, it doesn't come up on the Bluetooth on the screen with it. It's kind of a mess, and Tesla has just done such a nice job of integrating the supercharger network right into the navigation system, making owning an electric vehicle as seamless as possible, as worry-free as possible, so you're able to go and do the next charging station, you have somewhere to eat. Tesla's done, it's not even close in that sense. Also, I've seen reviews of people going to the charging stations and half the time the charger doesn't work.
I've never gone to a Tesla charging station where the charger does not work. You plug the car right in. You don't need to have an account, because with a Tesla, it's charging to the card that's hooked up to the car. So in that sense, Ford has a long way to go. But in terms of the car, it's very well done. The build quality is nice. The paint seems to be even. There's no gaps in the panels or anything like that. It's nice in that sense, because Ford's been building cars for a lot longer. But here's what I'm excited about with the Ford Mustang Mach-E. It's that Ford put their money where their mouth is, and they produced a car that you can go and buy. All of these companies right now, Lucid and Rivian and whatever, they're all talk, they're all clout, and there's nothing there. There's no, yelling at me to put my hand on the wheel, stop swinging it around like this. Product that they have that you can go and test drive and go and experience. I'm sitting in the Mustang Mach-E and driving it, and I'm having a good time doing it. And what's exciting is this is the future. Now, some of you who are true enthusiasts and you love your gas-powered cars, I'm with you. I have an M2. I love that car. If you were to ask me, Ben, what would you rather have, your M2 or your Model Y? I would say I would rather have my M2 at this point, just because of the convenience of not having to charge. The range is going to get better. The performance is going to get better. And another thing that's growing on me is the different sounds that these electric motors make when you're accelerating the vehicle. It's just the little whines in the back of the car. This does have a propulsion sound, so I'm not sure that the camera's gonna actually pick it up. When you click this, that puts on a piped in sound into the car. So when I floor it, you should be able to hear that. I'm sure you can hear that sound. So yes, there is that piped in propulsion sound, which I don't feel that that's necessary, but again, I guess if you want the fast experience, or to make your senses think you're going faster than you are, you can put on the propulsion sound and do that. So that's just an interesting little detail that they've built in. I don't feel that it's necessary, but again, they're trying something, and I have no problem with it. Quick roll race for you. Good to go.
3, 2, 1, go.
So yeah, the Tesla does have a little bit more pull. Not much though. Really not much. It'd be interesting to see it from a dig. It wasn't like it gapped it. I didn't even get to a car length. The car just warned me I'm in a school zone. Happy we got that done after the school, before the school zone. Now, one thing I don't know a lot about, and I'm not even gonna act like I do, is the size of the battery. The size of the battery in the Model Y is like a 78 kilowatt hour, and in this it's a 98, I'm pretty sure. So there's such a massive difference there, and I wonder if the range of the Mustang is much more accurate than the advertised range of the Tesla. It kind of makes me wonder. I'm gonna have to do more range testing on my car. I'm not able to do any range testing on it, but what I will say is the miles on the Mustang seem to drop much slower than they do on the Tesla. So it'd be interesting to see. I'll have to search around on YouTube to see what the answer is for that. Is Tesla being deceitful in their range estimates? Because yes, you can achieve those range estimates by driving very slow and turning the AC off, depends what the temperature is outside, all of that stuff. So that's interesting. Also, as far as efficiency goes, if you live in a cold area, the Mustang does not have a heat pump. So that's gonna run extremely inefficient during cold months in the winter. So just something to keep in mind. The Tesla does have a heat pump, so it's able to run much more efficiently when the heat is needed in the car. All right, so up a mountain pass road we go. Driven a little bit on back road so far, and the thing handles pretty well. The steering response of the Mach-E is not quite as good as the Model Y. The feel in the Model Y is much more direct and solid. There's also 3 different settings. There's comfort, standard, and sport in the Model Y that you're able to adjust your steering weight to. As far as I know, this only has 1 weight. Well, it has different weights depending on which driving mode you're in. I'm in the most aggressive driving mode. The handling of the car, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just not as good as the Model Y. And I gotta say, like, the more I drive this car, the more I'm like impressed, because I expected to not like this car, to be totally honest with you. I expected to just be laughing and making fun of it and whatever, but Ford made me shut my mouth. Like, it's a solid car. If Ford had the charging network that Tesla had, Tesla would be in trouble, because I doubt Ford's gonna have the quality control issues that Tesla's been having. Really, the only thing, and just like I said with the mileage on this car, the displayed mileage seems to drop much slower than how it drops on the Model Y. So I wish I knew more on that. I wish I could give you a more scientific answer. I'm just reporting what I'm seeing. Yeah, the thing handles nice. These roads are obviously way too tight for these types of cars. The regenerative braking on the Model Y is much more aggressive than that of the Mach-E. So that's something to note. My initial review of the Mustang Mach-E is a positive one. So let's do a quick review of what the Mustang Mach-E does better than the Model Y. Starting with the exterior, looks are subjective. Pick which one looks better. I think this car looks great. I think I still like the Model Y's looks better. I do like that you can swing your foot under the rear of the hatch of this car and it opens up. That's a nice feature. There's been plenty of times when I wish, when my hands are tied up carrying something and I have to set them all down and open up the trunk. That feature seems to work well in this car, and I wish the Model Y had it. On the interior of the car, the seats are comfortable in the Mach-E, that's for sure. I would say the front seats of the Tesla are more comfortable than the front seats of the Mach-E. Not that these are uncomfortable, just an observation. The rear seats of the Mach-E are much more comfortable than the seats of the Model Y. The storage in the Model Y is significantly better than the Mach-E, with the frunk. The trunk and the sub compartment within the trunk is bigger. The trunk itself is bigger, and you have more legroom in the back, as well as some more height within the car. Also, the panoramic roof, I'd say the shock value of the Model Y is much, much higher than getting in this car. This is very similar to a internal combustion engine car. It has a lot of similar features. It has a digital dashboard. It has a little knob to shift the car. There's a lot of familiarities in this car compared to the Tesla. The Tesla is futuristic. It's like a spaceship, everyone likes to say, especially with the white interior. There's no doubt of that. This is the only option for interior you have in the Mustang Mach-E. But my goodness, I take my hat off to Ford for producing this car. This is a well-made car. It's quick, it's electric, and it's something that if they had a charging network and it was a little quicker, it's something I would consider owning. As of today, if I were to spend my own, if it were me going, okay, Mustang Mach-E, Tesla Model Y, they cost the same, what am I gonna buy? It is no question a Tesla. No question, simply because of the charging network and being able to actually take the car out and use it and do road trips and all of that type of stuff. For me, it is no question still the Tesla, but holy heck, I gotta say, Tesla needs to shape up. They need to immediately eliminate these quality issues that they are having and continue to add features to their car, add more colors. The Mustang Mach-E, I didn't even talk about that, it has so many awesome colors you'd get. I would get the orange color for sure. Yeah, it looks really cool. There's just so much that Tesla could offer that other companies are going to offer, which could take customers away. And I want to see Tesla continue to dominate and push forward, but everyone's going to be catching up quickly, and this is proof of that. So, if you're with me in the video still, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you supporting the sponsor Into the AM for this video. Again, I spend my own money on these cars. Having sponsors like that offsets the cost of renting it, and so on and so forth. So thank you for supporting them. Thank you for watching my video. Please like the video if you're still with me and hit subscribe. There's going to be several other videos I'm releasing on the Mustang Mach-E. We'll see you next time.